Welcome back to an episode of the Bolton Career Mode Season number 2. And we are going to kick it off by bringing in the man that turned the season completely around in the second half of that season, Irakunda. He is now a permanent player for Bolton here in the championship. We'll see if he can do as good as he did last season. Welcome to the club for $4 million plus a 9% sell-on clause that we might trigger at some point or might have to get triggered at some point. But Irakunda is back into the team. We started the season with $15 million in the budget. We're now down to $10 million here. The team needs some work desperately. We have Simon, who's back from loan as a 69 rated winger now, so he'll get his shot to be a right winger properly. We have Mendes Gomes, who's going to have to unfortunately sit on the bench now. He's going to have to be a full-on bench player because Irakunda is back in the team. We have a 62 rated left back that I kind of want to improve on. Maybe try and bring back Ogbeta. He was a decent center back. Baxter, he might be able to stay. He's on the chopping block. We do have Williams that we could technically play as left back, but I'm kind of interested in switching him into a right midfielder and see what his rating is. If it's higher than Simon, then we might have to do that. Sheehan and Thomason and Morley are still in our midfield. We have IBA getting Santos. Santos ain't leaving unless we get a crazy transfer offer for them. We have Garbett, who's still here. We have Ajobai, who's still here. We'll see what happens with him when he comes back from injury. But yeah, right now it's kind of a lot of players that I don't necessarily see myself using. So we're going to try and get maybe some players, maybe a new striker as well. Maybe sell one of the strikers, bring in a new striker. We'll see what happens. But we are going to change Williams to a right mid or right winger and possibly look for a new left back. Alright, you can see here we have a bunch of free agents on the list here. A couple of players that aren't also on the free agent list. As far as free agent goes, I kind of want to limit myself to sign 1 to 2 free agents possible per season, maybe 3 depending on how bad the squad is. Also, we are going to look to loan in possibly a striker because I don't really want to spend the money on a striker. And these two, Broha and Washington, are loan listed from Chelsea. Now, David Washington is a younger guy that we could bring in, but Broha is also quite young, 77. I don't know if he matches the power curve he kind of does match that power curve, and I do see him possibly going to a championship on loan. If we were to ever go on loan somewhere else, it'd be maybe somewhere in the French league in League 1, or it would be to a championship, somebody not necessarily like Bolton in the championship, but somebody like Watford, Southampton, Leeds United, Sheffield United. So you could argue the case that he would want to come here. So we're going to keep him. We're not going to bring in David Washington. I don't want to have him because he doesn't really match. It's not matching the curve. The curve is going up now, and David Washington is kind of staying flat, but he's also he's not going down, but he's not really going up too much. He's like settle. We also have this 28-year-old striker here that is a free agent. But his stats, his shooting is about the only good thing on him. His shooting and his strength, his attack positioning, that's about the only thing that's good on him. He does have power header, but he's not really interested in there. I do have a center defensive mid in Keaton Parks for 26-year-olds, but look at that. 38 acceleration, 34 sprint speed. That is horrific. I didn't even see that. That's horrific. We have Norton Davis, who I believe was at Sheffield United. If I have my facts right, I'm not checking that. I'm just going to say he is. We have a couple of center backs. We have a right back. We have a goalkeeper. We have 2 goalkeepers. We have 3 goalkeepers, 2 that are free agents. I didn't want to go for youth academy players in the free agent market because if I just go ahead and show you this real quick, if we go to the free agents and then just do this and then that, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of free agents on this. I don't necessarily really want to go for them. If we do, or free agent youth players, if we do have a youth player, I want it to be through the youth academy system. And talking about that, we are going to add a second scout here, which will take some money away from our budget. We're going to go with Alex Norton, a 4-star, 5-star. We are going to send him to England for 9 months. We want 9 months constantly for England. And then we are going to send the original guy over to I'm going to just spin a circle. I'm going to spin a circle. I have my eyes closed. And I'm going to stop in 3, 2, 1. He's going over to France. Wow, that actually worked out perfectly. I was thinking France anyway. So we'll have those two go out. We'll get them. And talking about Youth Academy, we have a name by Liam Lucas. He is ready to come into the team. He will be our new center defensive mid / CM. The only problem is I'm training his passing and all this other stuff, which is training his skill moves. I'm going to stop his skill moves at 4. So I'm going to have his skill moves at 4. If I have to mod that, I will. I will have to mod that, so I will mod that. So welcome to the club, Liam Lucas. The first free signing, technically, because you're already part of the squad. And Copenhagen are coming in for 27-year-old Aaron Collins. This would open a door for a possible Broha move. 1.5 million. We're going to try and get 2 million. The board says we can get 1.75. That's why I'm pushing an extra 200k here. Or I guess an extra 500k technically on here. We'll see what they say. That's a fine deal. 2 million for Collins. And he might be done for us here at Bolton. Dan Dulu has been sold for 630k. I believe he was possibly on loan last season. Came back an instant sell. We're never going to use him, so we'll get the money out of him for sure. And then Aaron Collins has been sold to Copenhagen for that 2 million mark there. So we say goodbye to one of our strikers there and Aaron Collins. We are going back overseas, back to the MLS where we got our last center back in Ibiega. This time, we are looking for a little bit of a younger one, a little bit better rating already, a little bit better potential and a better future for this club here at Bolton. We are going in for now 20-year-old Thomas Avias who's at Inter Miami. I don't know if he really plays in real life. I'm not paying attention too much. We are going to try and get him for a little bit cheaper. We're actually going to go up a little bit more. We're going to go like 4.3 million, see what they say there. That's pretty much half our budget. Maybe I could have gone a little bit cheaper. So Thomas Avila, a 20-year-old center back, 72 overall. He can also play center defensive mid if we desperately need him to. He might be coming to the squad if we can afford his wages and stuff. And he will come into the squad for 9.9k a week for a 2-year deal. He will come in. He will replace Ibiega at that starting center spec. So he'll be paired along Santos in that back line at the moment. It's a good young signing for the future. And if all else fails, we could possibly sell him for a bit of a profit down the line as well. But welcome to the squad, Thomas Avias. And we are going to go over back to the MLS one more time. This time bringing in a Cam to pair along Ethan and Wari. Our goal is to either sell Garbett or loan him out to grow him and then sell him next season. Caden Clark will join from Minnesota United for $1.7 million in a 5K wage deal for a 4-year deal. He is technically higher rated than Ethan and Wari. However, I'm just not dropping Ethan and Wari. So Caden Clark will be a substitute for Ethan. And welcome to the club. Signing number 3 or 4 this season already. And we still got a couple more to go. And we say goodbye to Aaron Morley. He has been sold to Casapia for $1.8 million. So that transfer fee for Caden Clark is straight back into here for Aaron Morley. And that's actually big because we couldn't afford the player we wanted to replace him with. So now we can actually do that. And we go ahead and bring in that replacement already. And in fact, we didn't need that money for Morley. It will just boost the budget that much more because this guy costs less than $1 million. $800K for Abel Adams. I had my eyes on him since the beginning of last season, but he was on loan, unfortunately, so therefore we couldn't bring him in. We bring him in now for a very cheap fee of $800K. And the reason why I had my eyes on him is his aggression is at 90. His stamina is at 86. He has good strength on the ball, and he is going to be a boss in that midfield alongside the young boy, I forgot what my young boy's name is, Baxter. But Eber Adams for £850,000. Welcome to the club. And we go ahead and make another loan signing. I knew we needed a left back. I had Ogbeta on my short list to bring in permanently, but once we signed not kidding, Clark, but the other guy, we signed him. We couldn't really afford Ogbeta, so we go ahead and go to Plymouth Argyle to loan in Bali Mumba. We couldn't loan in Ogbeta, but I didn't want to do that. Bali Mumba, 74 overall, a left wing back. He will replace our current left back, which right now is Williams, as he is training to be a right winger. So welcome to the club, Mumba. You'll be our left wing back for the season. And we might get more money here in a preseason tournament. That's great. We say goodbye to Ben Hanarache. I don't even know who this guy is. 240K. Does nothing. Goodbye. The one signing that we do desperately need to make with our money left to go, it is only a loan deal. We have decided to go with Armando Broja. We're going to try 2 years. They're going to want 1 year. Oh, they do accept a 2-year loan. That's actually near perfect. Now, this is the problem. The wages. We can't necessarily afford the wages. We can quite literally only afford 60%. We are going to try and get them to pay the 60% there. No problem will happen. Okay, so we're only paying 40% of the wages. We probably could have got that down a little bit further as well. But as long as he accepts it, he still hasn't accepted it. As long as he's willing to come, his loan listed. But now it's up to him to whether or not he wants to come to Bolton. If he doesn't, we might have to go in for Washington, or we might have to go in for a free agent player, or possibly bring back Miles Leoburn. I thought we didn't have to worry about that. Who's this leaving the club? Who is this? This is Matthew Garba. He has been loaned out to Saudi club Al Alahi. He has been loaned out for the season. We'll see whether he can grow or not and be able to be sold next season. And he has been loaned in. Broja, welcome to Bolton for the season. We have our striker, hopefully. Maybe he can lead us to Premier League back-to-back promotions. I doubt it. We're looking at mid-table at best, in all honesty. But Broja, I see him possibly being a top goal scorer. He'll be here for 2 years. As long as he stays, he will be here for 2 years. And as long as I keep him here for 2 years. And honestly, that's kind of the team set. We have Baxter still in net. We have Darcis Carley as our right back. The only problem is we necessarily don't have a backup right back. We have Matheson, but I guess he's going to be our backup right back. We have Avias and Santos as our 2 starting center backs with, if I can go back here, with Johnston, Tawau, and Ayabiega as possible backups, as well as Jones. So we're good there. We have Mumba. We have Jones, not Williams, but we have Jones as our backup left back. We have Adam and Lucas holding it down in the midfield. We have Ethan and Warrior at Cam. Simon as a right winger. Irakunda, the star of the season last season. And then Broja in the striker position with Charles, Mendes Gomes, Williams, who will be our right back. Our right winger. Caden Clark as our cam. John, Ibiega, Thomason, Sheehan. And in fact, I probably should have Sheehan as a backup center mid and have Thomason on the bench. We still have Ajoy Boy, who should be coming back from injury in the next 2 months, which is weird to say, but yeah, he'll be back in the next 2 months. That's kind of that done, and we don't have that much money left. So we're kind of just waiting to the start of the season, in all honesty. And this is somebody leaving the club, Conan Carter. We don't care about him. And we have a Williams position change, a 65 to 69 overall right winger. He's not going to grow anymore this season. So him and Simon are kind of at the same thing. And honestly, I'd rather have Simon starting there. We'll keep Simon as a starting right winger for now. And talking about that, we have scout reports. First one for England with a better scout judgment. We can see if we can get some better players in here. I kind of want to fill this up a little bit more, but I don't want like really bad players like this guy, Lewis George. Great potential, or great overall, and great value. His potential though is completely awful, but it could be a quick buck. So we're gonna sign him for 1.2 million, and we'll stay in there. We'll see what we can do possibly with him. And then over to France, first time going to a different nation. We obviously did last season with those months in England that we did when we started the youth system there. And we get nothing out of France. But looking at George, a center back, 65 overall. I don't need another center back in all honesty. I really don't. So even if he did have a great potential, if he had a great potential, then maybe. But I just don't need him. I really don't. First game of the season. It's against a team that we are very familiar with in League One. The team that got automatically promoted with us, Derby County. It's a new look for us. For the most part, we have Broja at striker. We have Simon as our right winger. Irakunda back as a left winger. And Rory still in that center attacking mid position. Adams and Lucas in the midfield. Avias as our center back. And Mumba, new look at him at left back as well. Let's get into it. Let's see what the boys can do. Mumba's first look at the defensive efforts. Adams in that midfield. There's that aggression. There's that strength. Irakunda, welcome back to the club. Hopefully you were as good as you were last season. And Wari, hopefully you keep improving as well. Broha putting the pressure on. Still with Broha putting the pressure on. No foul, says the referee. And Broha has the ball now. The defender's trying to get back. And Broha on the finesse. Wildsmith with the save and out for a corner. And Simon is the penalty taker for this season. It looks like it's not that great of a corner. Ethan Warrior get it back. Now Lucas. Back out wide to Ethan. Ethan crossed into Broha. Can't find him. Santos heads it down to Lucas. Lucas. Adams. Now Irakunda. Irakunda into Broha. Broha into Lucas. Lucas into Nwari. And Wari turns back to Lucas. And Lucas, the youngster, will give Bolton the lead here against Derby County. Fonra out wide to Mendez-Lang. Mendez-Lang now a heavy touch, trying to get away from Santos. He will get away from Santos. Cross back post. And Barghausen will level things up here right before the break. It's 1-1. We had a defensive lapse there at the end of that first half. We need to get it better, get it back into shape. Get the familiarity, get that chemistry up. Lucas into Simon. Simon turns. Simon now. And Simon! The youngsters are doing it all. The youth academy players are doing it all. It's 1-2 for Bolton. That was a weird way of saying that. It's 2-1 for Bolton. Mumba. The pass was terrible, but the deflection was better for us. Irakunda into Broha. Broha, who's been quiet, he had that first little effort there in the first half. Out wide now to Simon to get his second, and Simon will make it 3-1 for Bolton. We double the lead, and Simon is taking over. And we are actually going to make some changes here. We are going to bring on Mendez Gomez at left mid. We are going to go ahead and bring on Williams for Simon. We're going to take Simon off, give him that rest. Caden Clark at cam as well. And Charles, no, we want to keep Broha on. I want to keep Broha on. I want to see what I can do with him. Let's get to it. Lucas just crashing down on the ball. Broha and Lucas are going to pressure. We want that ball back. We want that fourth goal. We want to start the season with the bang. We know the quality of Derby County. We know we can beat Derby County. We know we probably should be beating Derby County. So this isn't the real test of the championship. We'll get that against Burnley. We'll get that against Southampton. This is just a good warm-up game for those opponents. Adams over the top. Can't find Mendez Gomez. Second ball, maybe. No. Third ball for Clark, yes. We'll see what Caden Clark can do in the little bit of time he has. We may be able to sneak into the playoffs, in all honesty. We may be able to sneak into the playoffs. I don't really think we will, but we have that possibility. Hurrain, Fonra, they get one back. It's 3-2. The game's not over yet. And Broha will come off for Charles. The game is not over yet. Derby County is not a pushover team for sure. We just know we should be beating them. The last couple of chances, a cross comes in. Back post, that's how they scored that first goal right before the break. It won't happen this time, and Williams will look to just carry it away. Use that pace he has against the tired defenders. Switching the field, possibly. No, that's deflected by a defender. That was a smart decision. Would have worked out to Mendez Gomez. But now they got to get the ball up, so it might actually worked out anyway. The plus 3 minutes. Win that ball, Adams, when we win the game. Perfect. Charles now over the top for Williams. He's offside. But that should be game over. This should be game over here against Derby. I nearly said Bolton. I keep forgetting I'm not Derby. I'm not doing that player Crimo season 1 again. It's Elder. It's Darcis Clark. They win that ball back. It's Williams. He tried to keep it in, but it goes out, which actually helps us even more. And that is game over. We win the first game of the season. 3-2 win here against Derby County. A familiar face turned into a familiar W. And just to give y'all one more game, I don't necessarily feel like playing it because the episode's been going on a little bit longer, so we'll allow it to sim out here against Bristol City. That way, next episode we can close out that window because we still have a couple games left in this month. We have a Carabao Cup game against against Stockport coming up next after this, which will probably rotate because I'm not necessarily looking for a cup run. Kind of want to focus solely on the league. The cup run is just money into the club, which we don't necessarily need at the moment. I mean, we do need, but we don't need it at the same time. So we'll just see what the boys can do here against Bristol City. And we're losing. Wells in the 53rd minute. We'll jump in the 53rd minute. It took them that long to get into the game. But we are losing. We have suffered. Well, no, actually, we haven't suffered our first goal at all. We got conceded on twice last game. What am I talking about? We're going to jump back to Sim after that one. I can't lie. We're going to jump back to Sim for that one. And then make it to no Mehmete. We suffer our first loss in the championship. It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. We're not supposed to win or draw every single game of the season. So we'll lose that one. And that's fine. And when we come back, we have the rest of the transfer window. We have some more games against Ipswich, a team that just got promoted to the Premier League, sitting in second. We have Bolton. Bolton? We have, I'm Bolton. We have Blackburn. My brain is fried at the moment. We have Swansea, and then we have Wolves, a team that just got relegated from the Premier League. That will be the hardest game in the championship the whole entire season. So come back for that. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.